Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. And starting the week, a very useful post on how Warbands works, because it wasn't really that clear. So basically, when you enter an area with a Warband, there's a chance of course of spawning a Warband, and there's a smaller chance of getting the highest level Warband that can possibly spawn in that area. And then there's a bigger chance of getting normal warbands. And every 10 minutes or 30 for maps, basically the area that had the most warband kills will lose the warband. And at the same time, a new warband will pop up on another place, making the adjacent warbands stronger. So this process will create new 4-dot warbands, which is the highest tier of warbands you can get. Now, warbands move around in the normal maps through the pins and lines that connects the various zones, and it's the same for the maps. However, the layout is different. You cannot see it straight away, but Chris said there is a hint in the map vendor recipe. You know, when you vendor 3 maps of the same type and you get a higher level map? Yeah, that's the connection right there. So you can kind of suppose how the warbands will move. And also these 30 minutes have been increased in a patch that we are going to take a look in a moment. But first, a reminder that the Awakening video making event is still going on, and if you are out of ideas, here are some examples of videos that you could kind of do. Of course, once again, if you've thought of participating but you haven't because you don't feel like your skills are good enough and all that kind of jazz, really, just it doesn't matter. Just go and have some fun, try it out. You might win something. But still, here are the 2.0.0 G patch notes. This was supposed to be a very quick and small patch. However, it grew up and now it's kind of an update. So yeah, some new microtransactions. I feel like I should spend a second on the Divine Righteous Fire, which is probably the coolest microtransactions I've ever seen in my life. Also because even the fire on the monsters is now turned into gold. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, let's get on the serious stuff. Act 4 balance changes. There's been more balance done to the Act 4, so damage and life of some of the bosses has been reduced, and also the duration of the explosive runes on the ground for the final boss. The lightning beam is now less strong. Also, many other skills are less strong, of course. The corrupted lightning beam. There's basically a lot of nerfs all around on the difficulty of Act 4. Especially for normal and cruel. Merciless has not been touched yet, because that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be hard, and it's supposed to be an alternative to low-level mapping. Another note, the Stygian Revenants now shoot less projectiles, and the minions, which revives, explodes for less damage. This is not to kill them as specters, but it is to prevent too many exiles from dying from them. Apparently they were really efficient killers. And then there's some specific changes. So warbands, now there are more 4-tier warbands throughout Merciless and maps, so this should help the farming. Also, the experience and the amount of items gained have been increased for some of the warbands, especially the grunts and the elites. And then warbands in maps change every hour and not every half hour as it used to be. So there's more chance to farm them as well. And then the chaos leaders will rise with the next content update. So we can expect probably kind of another warband or a rogue warband, something like that. It's gonna be interesting for sure. And also there are changes to the Tempest League. So the most dangerous Tempests now have more additional item quantity. I'm not sure how this how effective this is, but still it's nice to have some more bonus, of course. Some of the changes that have happened, for example, are the Abyssal Tempest now converts only 50% of damage to Chaos, as it was 100%, and of course Chaos resistance is the less used resistance. Very few players actually have Chaos resistance, let alone cap it, so this was kind of a needed change, otherwise no one will ever enter those maps or will just die. And then there's been some random changes. I do not know exactly how this works because I do not play Tempest, so if you're interested in the changes, be sure to check them out there. What do we got next? Fixes to Descent and Descent champions, of course, and then more fixes, bugs. Also, for example, less bandwidth is used now, so Lockstep should have less stuttering, which should be actually pretty good. And lastly, we can see the Emberwake race season has finally started. This season contains 120 events. It will run from the 24th of July to the 20th of August. And the signature race is a fixed seed called 1 hour Emberwake. So fixed seed means the map is the same every single time, and the map is already discovered. You do not have to explore the zone to know the map, so it removes a lot of RNG on the spawn of the maps. So these events are actually pretty competitive, and they're also pretty good. It's a 1 hour, so it's manageable for mostly everyone, and it's going to be definitely an interesting season. If you have never raced, there are a lot of tips over here. You can read the full post. There are basic beginner tips, general tips, of course, and then if you want to actually get really good, you should check out some streamers who constantly get into the top of the ladders when racing, so just check those out and you'll find yourself to be improving a lot. So I guess that was all for this week. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So that was all. I've been your host Giorgio, and I'll see you guys the next time.